Breaking news this morning, a new lead in a decades-old cold case prompting an underwater search of the Columbia River.
Imagine planning a peaceful family trip for Christmas greenery in 1958, and then poof, you disappear off the face of the earth. No, it's not the plot of a bad horror movie. It's the real-life mystery of the Martin family. Kenneth, Barbara, and their 3 daughters, Barbara, Barbie, Virginia, and Susan set off for a trip in Oregon's Columbia River Gorge on December 7, 1958. They were last seen filling up their car at a Cascade Locks gas station and having a cozy stop at a café in Hood River. Fast forward to 2025 and bam, we still don't know what happened to them. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can something this weird stay unsolved for decades? Well, let's rewind and see what really happened. The breakthrough discovery. Enter Archer Mayo, yes. That's really his name, who's kind of like the Indiana Jones of cold case diving. This guy had a mission, and it wasn't to discover lost treasure or ancient civilizations. No, Archer was on a 7-year quest to crack the Martin family mystery. And in late 2024, he made an unbelievable discovery that would make even the most jaded true crime fan sit up straight and go, "Hold up, are you serious?" Archer, armed with some serious determination and a little bit of diver's luck, discovered a submerged car in the Columbia River near Cascade Locks. But this wasn't just any car. This was the Martin family's car. Presumed lost in the river forever, the vehicle was found upside down, sitting 50 feet underwater, covered in layers of mud, silt, and debris. Honestly, the car looked like it had just been taking a nap down there, chilling in the riverbed for over 6 decades. But Archer wasn't about to let a little silt and water stop him. Oh no, this was the breakthrough he'd been waiting for, and the mystery was about to get a whole lot less mysterious. Here's where it gets a little more techie, because apparently, divers now use high-tech gadgets like they're straight out of a spy movie. Archer Mayo had used predictive modeling to figure out where the car might be. That's right, this diver didn't just pick a random spot and hope for the best. He used fancy math and computer algorithms to predict the most likely location of the vehicle. Let's see where this car would have ended up if I were a 1950 station wagon that took a detour into the river, he must have thought. And bingo, he hit the jackpot. Predictive modeling for the win. Folks, is it really the Martin family's car? By March 2025, the recovery crews had moved in, pulling parts of the vehicle from the river. They started with the chassis, the rear axle, and other pieces of the car that have been sitting there for decades. But here's the million-dollar question. How could they be sure that this was the Martin family's car? Sure, it was a car. Sure, it was submerged for a ridiculously long time. But what was the actual evidence? The first major hurdle for investigators was the absence of the VIN number, which is the most reliable identifier for any vehicle. Without this crucial number, proving the car's identity would become an even trickier endeavor. They couldn't just say, "Hey, it's the Martin's car, trust us." Instead, they had to rely on a whole host of other clues to make sure the submerged vehicle wasn't some random relic of the past. In the absence of the VIN, the experts turned to other markers, like the car's make, model, and unique features. They also examined specific design elements that were unique to 1950s Ford station wagons, which added to the likelihood that this was indeed the Martin family's car. The experts were 99% sure that the car belonged to Martins, though the 99% part is where things get a little hazy. You can't help but wonder, what's that 1%? Either way, for now, everyone involved seems content with the fact that the evidence points overwhelmingly in the direction of the Martins, and they're prepared to lean heavily on the assumption that this car was indeed theirs. And let's be real, it makes sense. After all, where else could this car have come from? A 1950s Ford station wagon randomly ending up in a river for decades? If you didn't know better, you'd think this was a setup for a poorly executed prank. But no, this wasn't some bizarre coincidence. The evidence and the clues were lining up. So, for now, we're going to roll with the assumption that this car, caked in decades of river goo, is indeed the one the Martin family was driving the day they disappeared. The mystery's net is tightened, even if only a little. And as each new discovery is made, you can almost hear the collective breath of the nation holding steady, wondering if this will be the moment when everything clicks into place. Only time and more testing will tell But for now, the evidence is pointing strongly in one direction. Was it an accident or something more sinister? Now, let's get to the juicy stuff. What actually happened to the Martin family? Theories about their disappearance have been swirling for decades. And let me tell you, some of them sound like straight-up true crime podcast material. The most straightforward theory is that the family simply drove into the river by accident. It's a tragic but plausible explanation, right? But here's the kicker. It was just an accident. Why didn't anyone find the car for so long? Did the searchers miss it? Were they looking in the wrong spots? Or were they too busy hoping to find a mythical creature like Bigfoot instead? That's the thing with this case, the longer you look into it. The more it starts to feel like it's too strange to be a simple accident. Then there's a theory of foul play, the idea that someone may have intentionally pushed the car into the river. Detective Walter Graven, one of the original investigators, had his doubts and suspected foul play. He found tire tracks and paint chips that seemed to match the Martin family's car. Oh, looks like someone was getting a little too clever with covering their tracks. But wait, there's more, because no good mystery is complete without a plot twist involving family members. Right? Enter Donald Martin, the family's eldest son. He was stationed in New York when the family vanished. But here's the twist. A stolen gun was found near Cascade Locks, and some people thought it could be linked to him. Donald, of course, denied any involvement, but that doesn't stop a good conspiracy theory from running wild. No direct evidence has ever tied him to case, but the mere suggestion of involvement adds another layer of intrigue to this already bizarre mystery. What's happening now? As of August 2025, the Martin family case is still officially open, and it's anyone's guess whether we'll finally get the answers we've all been waiting for. Nearly 7 decades after their disappearance, the search is still ongoing. Investigators are combing through the vehicle's remains, analyzing every scrap of evidence they can find, hoping that anything might finally shed light on what happened to Martin's. Here's the thing. The discovery of the submerged car was a massive breakthrough, but it also raised more questions than it answered. Where'd the family go? Why did the car end up in the river? Was it truly an accident? Or is there a darker truth behind it? And who's to blame, if anyone? These questions remain unanswered, and the case remains unsolved, leaving us all on the edge of our seats, hoping for that one last clue to piece it all together. The moral of the story. So, what can we take away from this epic tale of disappearances, rivers, and divers with mysterious passion for old cars? One thing's for sure, never underestimate the power of a good mystery. The Martin family case is a perfect example of how, sometimes, the strangest stories are the ones that linger for the longest. And here's a pro tip: never, ever trust a quiet river. You never know what unsolved case might be lying at the bottom, waiting for the right person to come along and dive into it. The Martin case is a reminder that mysteries don't just disappear, no matter how much time passes. Like a good detective novel, they keep evolving, and we're all in together, hoping to uncover the final pieces that who knows? Maybe one day we'll get that final answer. Until then, we're left with the chilling possibility that the Martin family's fate might soon be revealed, if only we can figure out whether the car's VIN really matches theirs. If you found this case as gripping as we did, don't just sit there in silence. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on what really happened. Was it an accident? Foul play? Or just a really, really bad road trip? Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime stories that keep you on the edge of your seat.